Prosperity podcast on the Soulful Prosperity Network, where we align with well-being. Hope y'all been taking care of yourself, loving yourself. We back. Miss Sunday episode, but we back today. Miss Wednesday episode as well. But I've been handling moving and just handling that shit all this week. So it's been a hassle. No time, honestly. So gonna be in a new spot tomorrow, recording some new podcast as well, man. So looking forward to that, man. So let's go ahead and get into the intro before.
Cigarettes for real, sick of leaf. I ain't even know I gon' land. Tryna go back to the gas, but it's out of gas, my feet in sand. Talk up to the winning team, nigga was feeling like EYB. I'm a grown ass man, I'ma do what I wanna do, kids don't get mad at me. I'm a big man.
Yo, welcome back to another episode of the Soulful Prosperity Podcast, episode 55 on the Soulful Prosperity Network, man. And we're gonna dive right into it, bro. We got a lot going on, man. I got the topics right here on the iPad, man. We dug in it with the iPad again. So we're gonna go ahead and get into it, man. We're gonna talk about Nolan Will's situation. An insane situation that occurred over July the 4th weekend. Young kid found missing, man. Shit was insane seeing that shit, bro. You know, especially as a black man, but you be like, damn, especially when it's all like not his race, he's the only black guy, kind of fuck you up. But Nolan Wills, 18 years old, out of Ocean Springs, Mississippi, goes missing on the 4th of July after a boat trip to Horn Island with his friends. And that part alone is already heavy. Horn Island isn't some easy day trip spot. It's a barrier island, no facilities, no drinking water. You can only get there by private boat. So picture this, okay? A group of friends celebrating the holidays. Boat trip going fine, but then according to reports, the boat start taking on water. Mileage pump issue, they head back without him, and that's the piece raising everybody eyebrows for everyone, for a lot of people, you know. That's just kind of insane. I did, just seeing that shit, reading this, and just getting that information. You know, when I was making this, I was like, bro, what the fuck? And there's more tapping into that more and more, you know, on a daily. I was kind of fucked up, bro, and a lot of people speaking out on, it's another one of them situations the race, man, we it's like we get these every year. Some crazy shit happened like this, you know. His mother reported him missing that night, and then it's a multi-agency search: Coast Guard, State Marine Resources, National Park Service, and 2 days later, some a park ranger found his body in the water off the island. They also say what it was, it was like, I think it was like a couple non-profit people looking for him as well. Now the family has retained Ben Crump. That name alone will tell you they're not satisfied with just accepting that he drowned. When Ben Crump get on his, it's one of them civil rights cases. And he's been trying to tap into the story, interviewing people. From what's out there, investigators are saying they don't currently suspect foul play. They think it's an accidental drowning, but the family's pushing for an independent autopsy, flying the body out to have it done separately from the state's exams. There's also been talk of a video, friends arguing on a boat that day. That's part of why authorities are asking the public for any footage from that part of the island, any altercation, any disturbances people might have seen or heard. Now look, I got to be responsible talking about this one because this is an active investigation. It's currently going on. Just happened. A family is grieving a real person, bro. Friends, grieving a real people, man. Teammates grieving a real person. I'm not here to speculate on what happened or to point fingers at anybody else in these friend groups. Facts only, bro. What we know is a teenager went out to celebrate a holiday and never came home. And his family deserves the real answers. Whatever those answers turn out to be, that family deserves that. His coaches are describing him as the kind of kid who lit up the room, talented athlete, respected, loved by everybody around him. That's a story underneath all the highlights, A young man that's doing good in life, about to go play college football. Life was cut short, so. And we're going to keep an eye on the independent autopsy results when they come back. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that. But let's get into Ben Crump, actually, this interview from Ben Crump speaking on this a little bit.
Just from where you sit, what are the biggest unanswered questions so far about this case?
Obviously, the biggest question is what happened to Nolan Wells. I think the reason this case has caught such fire is because they see the pictures, they see the video, and they're saying, hold on, you're trying to tell us just accept this an accident and sweep it under the rug? His mother, Christine, his father, Elmo, say, no, they will not allow that to happen. His friends, his community. I mean, he was a good kid. He was beloved. He was a college athlete. He had everything going for him. And so to go on that island for 4th of July celebration and then not to come back is what is concerning everybody, especially when you hear the contradictions.
And you're conducting your own investigation. How will that differ from what the authorities are doing?
Well, one thing, we're trying to be very transparent because the family has some concerns about the state of Mississippi doing an investigation of the death of a young black man where young white students may be looked at as having some culpability. So the family is concerned about that. So we're going to have an independent autopsy. We have investigators talking to witnesses that have no alignment or no allegiance to the state. And that's important, Lindsay. When you think about Mississippi and the history of Mississippi, you know, this is the state where Emmett Till was linked.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Yeah. When Ben Crump get on the case, man, you know it's getting serious. So let's get into it, bro. It's just kind of insane, man. Just seeing that shit, crazy, man. Honestly, yeah, I don't know, man. We're gonna get more topics though, man. When we get more information on this, we'll come back and talk about this probably on the next podcast. More information coming out throughout this week, man. Do want to figure that out, man. But let's get into the next topic, man. Let's transition into Trump, man. Let's talk about Trump and U.S. and the Iran. You know, going back into war with Iran over this week. The deal reportedly getting shut, man. So, and this is big. You know, the ceasefire between U.S. and Iran just collapsed. Trump literally said it himself. We're gonna play that video declaring that the ceasefire is over. You know, for context, since February this year, the U.S. and Israel have technically been at war with Iran and its allies. It kicked off after strikes that killed several top Iranian officials, including the supreme leader at that time. There was a ceasefire. There have been talks. A peace memorandum even got signed back in June in France, but that didn't hold. Israel hit Lebanon. Iran wouldn't reopen the Strait of Hormuz. And it's just keep escalating from there. And now we're back in it for real. You know, U.S. Central Command says they've hit close to 90 Iranian military targets in the latest round. Air defensive systems, command networks, coastal radar, small boats near the strait. Iran's not sitting still either. They launched drone strikes at the U.S. aligned sites in Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain. They say they hit a base in Jordan that houses U.S. forces. Sirens have been going off across the Gulf, Bahrain, Kuwait, telling people to take shelter. This is the part of the story that should worry everybody, honestly. It's not just Iran and U.S. trading blows anymore. It's spilling into the whole region over there, you know, even with, I think hitting that UAE, Iran was bombing the UAE, you know, early on in the war. You know, it's spilling just into the whole region, all getting pulled into the blast radius of everything, you know, Jordan, Kuwait, Qatar, and Bahrain all getting pulled into this. And there's a financial side to this, too. The war already estimated to have cost the U.S. taxpayers over $100 billion. And that's before you even get into what it's done to the oil market, shipping through Hormuz, and the gas prices here in America, bro. Like, it's insane. Iran's parliament speaker came out swinging with a warning, basically saying if the U.S. strikes, they're going to get hit back. And that's the era of the U.S. bullying, and that the era of the U.S. bullying them is done. Meanwhile, Iran's foreign minister is working the phones internationally, trying to build support from Pakistan, Turkey, Oman, trying not to get isolated while this thing plays out. So where did this go from here? Nobody really knows. You know, we seen several, bro, like a million nigga that said the war is over. 2 weeks in, shit did not end. And we here in July now, you know. This affects bigger than just the war over there. You know, it's players that the people just getting, and innocent people just getting bombed, kids getting bombed. Man, prayers to them. But the biggest thing here in America that we all are getting affected is the gas prices. You know, the global shipping, and honestly, the stability of the entire region. We're paying attention to, you know, and not just scrolling past. You feel me? This whole war, and I'm gonna keep tracking this, man. But let's get into Trump actually declaring that the war is over. I mean, declaring that the ceasefire is over. We got two videos, actually, man. Let's get into the first one.
To me, I think it's over. I don't want to deal with them anymore. They're scum. You know what scum is? They're scum. They're sick people. They're led by sick people. And they're vicious, violent people. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they'd use it. As far as I'm concerned, it's over. I'll speak to our negotiators. They want to negotiate. They're good people. Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner. But they have to come back to me. As far as I'm concerned, it's just a waste of time dealing with them. They're liars. We make a deal. Everyone's agreed. No nuclear weapon. We make a deal. They go outside, talk to the press. They say, we never even talked about it. There's something wrong with them. They're cuckoo. As far as I'm concerned, it's over.
Let's get, man. Yeah, that's the first video of Trump speaking on the ceasefire being over. Sending those threats out there. And he actually gets questioned about sending those threats. He called them smart, and now he's saying that they're all these different things. And he got questioned about that actually. Let's get into that real quick. If I can find that video, tell me I didn't get that on here. See, yeah, I gotta add that real quick. Hold on, y'all. Let me add this video. Upload it. I'm sure looking. I know I had that done there. I had added that last clip. Let's get into it real quick. It's loading. Okay, let's get into it. It's processing. Golly, but yeah, he's basically gonna get questioned in his video. He's gonna get questioned about the comments that he made about the ceasefire being over and all that. But let's go ahead and get into this video.
Last month you said Iranian leaders were very rational people, nice people to deal with, strong people, smart people. Today you said they were scum, sick people, and being led by sick people. What changed, and do you think they're...
I got to know them. So I've said that about a lot. Now, when you say rational, I think they're much more rational than level 1, level 2. Level 1 is gone, level 2 is gone. This is level 3. I think they are more rational, but based on their actions over the last week or two, they're not doing a service to the people. And I think more than anything else is I got to know them. And I'm not sure I want to make a deal with them. We can play games, but I'm not sure I want to make a deal. Let's just finish the job.
That flimsy memorandum of understanding has proven to be quite that flimsy over the last couple of weeks and now seems to have fallen apart. No negotiations. President Trump suggesting yesterday that Jared Kushner and Steve Witkoff should just come home. It's a waste of time, he says, to talk to the Iranians, who he's now calling scum. What do you make of these new attacks by the United States and the attacks from Iran, which, again, go to American bases and threaten neighbors and allies of the United States in the Gulf?
Well, Willie, it gets back to the point you made at the very beginning, that it is not a ceasefire. It is a memorandum of understanding to start discussions. And there haven't been a whole lot of meat put on that bone of that agenda of the memorandum of understanding. So when ships started moving through the strait again, which Iran said they wanted to talk about during the meetings that would be held as a result of the memorandum of understanding, they were violating what Iran believes is their territory. So it is just, when the president says we're just going to bring people home, and when he again says, hey, these people are scum and we don't want to deal with them, it's only digging the hole deeper. All wars end in some type of diplomatic measure, and if you don't have the capability to talk and get something accomplished, military force is not going to provide any kind of relief from the kinds of issues we've been seeing over the last 4 months or so.
And that's kind of insane saying that shit, because we've been dealing with that shit with our president, Trump. Just insane, talking crazy to niggas. But one thing I always say, this shit, I like that shit because he keep it so fucking real, bitch. Like, niggas is keeping it real as a bitch. Probably one of the realest presidents we had. This nigga be saying how you really feel. I'm not saying he a good president and all that, bro, but nah, like, that shit is insane. I don't know, man. We just been in this war for a while, man. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen. I'm gonna be so 100. I'm not even. It's like it just keep going on, man. We constantly get a ceasefire, and then it's something new. It feel like it's every week. It's something new. So yeah, we're gonna tap into this. This is gonna be going on for a while. Seems like, so we're gonna be tapping into this shit for a minute. So let's go ahead and get into another topic, man. Let's get into our next topic, man. Let's go ahead and transition into. Let's get into India.Arie, man. India.Arie calling out what's my girl name? Spin that shit, calling that song out, man. We're gonna talk about that, bro. because she's not backing down from ending. This started when a Threads user called for a boycott of Young Miami song "Spin That," saying it's degrading to the black culture. India replies to the thread and says everything you listen to, see, or eat is going to influence you. So make wise choices. And that one line turned into a whole internet debate. And now here's the thing: she's been clear since day one. She never called for the boycott herself. She just co-signed somebody else's post. But once that got up, people ran with it like she's trying to cancel, Young Miami. She's came back around and quote, "I did not call for a boycott. I commented on someone's thread calling for a boycott." She held that same line the whole time. Let's go ahead and get that out the way. She went further too, man. We're gonna play this video. Let's go ahead and play this video. Go ahead and get into this shit. And they're already talking.
There are a lot of people who are saying it's just a song. Well, if that's what you think, enjoy. But what I know is that music has power. But of course, I have used that power to help some people, and I have traveled around this world twice, and I see the impact of what we export out of the Black American experience to the rest of the world. Longer story for another time. I was also in the blogs because I made comments about Clive Davis, and I said, watch what kind of stories you're going to see coming out about him. I signed my record deal when I was 22 years old. And so I learned about human nature through the lens of the music industry. So I got a full hot dose of all of it.
So India.Arie just dropped a video talking about her statements regarding Young Miami's Spend That. She
said that about the Spend That, man. She actually talked about the Clive Davis, and we all heard the stories of Clive Davis, man. And we're gonna talk about that. I think Jermaine Dupri actually. We're gonna talk about that. Him suing Sony, and we're gonna talk about that. But the India.Arie, man, honestly, to Spend That shit, I think I said this, bro. Yes, the music influences people, bro, and yes, most people are gonna get influenced by that song. Probably want to go scam. The niggas feel like gotta go scam and do this. And yes, that is true, bro. And the music is so powerful. What you say and what you speak and what you eat and what you see, what you listen to on a daily basis is so powerful. So it is important not to just feed yourself in that negativity like all the fucking time. Cause that's my balance. I think it's a balancing thing. You gotta be able to like I listened to the Spin That Shit song the first time. And I was forced, bro. I wasn't like trying to listen to that shit. I was forced to listen to that shit. Where I was at, I was at work, bro. Nigga had to listen to that shit. So. And that was my first time ever hearing the full song, bro. And I don't know, man. I just think a lot of people, man, made comments, bro. They probably never listened to the song. Like me, I didn't make a comment on it until I listened to the song. Until I fucking, I listened to the song. Like, I can see why they say. I can see why they say that this is a bad influence for the culture and a bad example for the culture, the music. But that's like half of hip hop, bro. That's like 90% of hip hop game. Like in this new generation, bro, it's going from leaving that Public Enemy era, that KRS era, higher infinite intelligence healing our people, man. That's the real hip hop and the real rap. We went from hip hop to rap. You feel me? We in rap, and Joe Rogan speaks on the mumble rap as well. But I think that was funny. He brought that up. But we gotta realize, bro. Yes, the industry does push these narratives to get the culture to like that shit, bro. And that's just what it is, bro. That's literally every brand. Speak on the Love Island shit. I just seen that they selling bonnets, bro. I see every black woman, damn near not every black woman, but most of the black women, they're watching Love Island, bro. And they're gonna go tap in and go. Probably some people are gonna go shop and buy that bonnet, and they use the black people on the cast to to promote this shit, and that's caused a lot of what's her name, bro. People started to see that shit, but these all everything, not just the music though. I think that's the biggest fucking thing. We always talk about the music. We always fucking blaming hip hop. We always talking about hip hop. We always talking about the rappers. We always talking about them. But what about the movies? What about the Hollywood? Hollywood gets paid what, $1 billion, like more than the I think they said more than some, bro. I don't think it was more than R. It's more than somebody. Like they get billions of dollars to promote and to greenlit movies to sway our minds into make us think a certain way, bro. You feel me? I think that's literally what it is, bro. It is not just music. We got to start talking about the movies as well, bro. But let's go ahead and shift into Jermaine Dupri, bro. They were talking about that Jermaine Dupri sued Sony. I think Jermaine Dupri actually came out in the defense of what's his name? What's my guy name? They just died. Damn. Fuck. Nigga be fried. I just said cut name. What's the nigga name that just died? The music exec. Clive Davis, man. I think he took up for him. Actually. Cause he called on BET to to tribute, have a on stage extravagant tribute for in Davis' honor. You feel me? But now he's going to sue Sony, man. So let's get into this shit.
Let's talk about Jermaine Dupri and So Def. So there was a lawsuit that was filed on July 6th. I received it last night. Jermaine Dupri, So Def Recordings, and So Def Productions is suing Sony. They're claiming that Sony spent years failing to pay proper royalties to music tied to Escape, Da Brat, Criss Cross, Jagged Edge, Usher, Mariah Carey, Bow Wow, Jaquan, and Bone Crusher. He's actually asking for $18 million. He says that this is like a 32-year-old business relationship that is now going sour, and he's saying that it wasn't just like a mess up or like something that was like a small clerical error, that this is specifically Sony allegedly underreporting royalties and failing to report other royalties at all, and altering like old statements allegedly once money questions started to get louder, and as they started to ask questions. So now he is saying that he is owed this sum of $18 million across all of the music that I just talked about. And I did reach out to Jermaine Dupri's rep for a statement, but it's an ongoing legal litigation, so they're not making any statements right now. But
I completely believe Jermaine Dupri, simply because Jermaine Dupri has been a person who's been on top of his business since day one.
Yeah,
I mean, it's his father. His father's a huge music executive, Michael Malden.
Executive.
So if Jermaine Dupri says he's owed some money, I'm pretty sure Jermaine Dupri's owed some money.
Yeah, they have to audit it out, find out where everything goes, and he'll get his money.
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be that easy, but they're gonna have to audit them out.
But I'm sure that probably came from an audit. Maybe he probably already did an audit, and that's how you got that.
It says in the documents that once questions had begun to be asked because of certain things like different audits and stuff like that, that's when there were certain things that Sony wasn't producing allegedly correctly. Like
he get his money.
Specifically, I think I just mentioned it. It says once the money questions started to get louder, there were old statements that were being altered once questions started being asked.
You already told me what I needed to know. The audit was already done. You got to run Jermaine Dupri's
altered statements. They did,
according to this lawsuit, and I don't have a statement from Sony at all on this, but
I didn't even know Jaquan was his artist for real.
Oh yeah,
that was like a whole era. Yo, Jaquan was. I wonder what
absolutely.
he
Let's not make this messy, Sony.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just business. There's no permanent friends or enemies when it comes to business. Just handle the business.
Yeah, so Jermaine Dupri is asking for a jury trial. He's also asking for the $18 million, at least what I mentioned, interest, attorney fees, and other reliefs that the court will allow for him to recoup from this if it works out in his favor.
JD should.
Yeah, it's crazy seeing, Jermaine Dupri going through that, calling out Sony, man, after Clive Davis passed. I wonder if he was waiting for Clive Davis, or he understood he probably couldn't do it with Clive Davis there. Clive Davis was the music exec from 2008 to 2026 until his death. The CEO of Sony Music Entertainment, bro. So from 2008 till 2026, and he asked to celebrate him at the BET, and now he's done doing this. I don't know, man. It's probably part of the game. I don't know, man, but we're going to see how that happens. More information from that going to come. A lot of people talking about how Michael Jackson, Prince, all these different people has called out, and we seen what happened to them. So a lot of people are worried for him, bro. So let's pray for JD, see he can get his bag, see what he can do, man. But let's get into this next segment, man. Amber Rose speaks on raising black kids, man. Next up, Amber Rose ass back at it again. She been going viral a lot. Last time going viral, I think it was with Nick Cannon. Their comments on the Republicans and the Democrats. And this time it's about where she teaches her son. She says she doesn't tell her boys that they have to work 10 times harder. And just because they're black. Her words were exactly, we live in a free country. But let's get into the video of her speaking on that real quick.
And I never tell my kids they have to work 10 times harder because they're black.
Yeah.
You have to work just as hard as everyone else. And if you want to be better, like let's say the NBA for an example, if you want to be like a real all-star, you got to work harder.
Yeah.
But you have to work just as hard as everybody else. Your skin color in America is not going to stop you from being great. I ain't trying to hear none of that shit. We live in a free country. You can be whoever the fuck you want to be.
Nah, I do like that, bro. I do think in the black community, we do put so many limitations on our mind before we even get out there. Even if those limitations do exist, because we do know it is harder for black man, bro, to, get into these certain spaces and these different things, black people in general. So I'll never not say that. I can see where she's coming from as well, bro. A lot of people saying that she's a Republican now, so this is part of the narrative that she has to push. A lot of people just having their assumptions of what's going on over there and with her right now. So yeah, we're gonna dive more into that, like on the Devil Albums Daily. But yeah, I think you always got to be as a black man. That's always exist, no matter what. You feel me? It just man, it's in some people DNA. I'm not saying all people are like that. You feel me? I don't think all people are racist, bro. I don't think some people. I don't think most white people are racist, bro. You feel me? But we do have a narrative that's put on us. You feel me? It's not good. You feel me? And I think that's gonna always be there, man. It's always gonna be a challenge for black people. I just can't get that in my mind and be like it's not a challenge. It's always gonna be a challenge. No matter what, bro. I don't care. 55 Soulful. My bad, yeah, I'm tapping this. But let's get into the next topic, man. We talk about Amber Rose, Chris Johnson, man. Prayers to Chris Johnson, CJ2K, bro. That shit was insane, bro. And it deserves real respect, man. My nigga Chris Johnson, man, one of the best running backs of his era. That 2006 yard season with the Titans revealed is still insane. But he revealed that he was diagnosed with ALS diagnosis that got everybody praying for him and his family. He was barely able to speak and shit like that, bro. So that shit kind of had me fucked up, man, seeing that. But prayers up to him and his family and everybody that's around him, bro. And for the players future football players, y'all should take this as an example and take care of your mind, man. Don't play over. Don't play just for the money, man. Play it for the fun, for the love, and get your bag and get the fuck up out of there, because they don't care about you. I think it was another player that had passed. He was diagnosed with something like after he passed, man. And that was insane. Seeing that shit, man. Prayers up to CJ2K, the GOAT. One of my favorite running backs that started off was one of them first running backs I ever seen. Him and Marshawn Lynch, bro. Probably my first running backs I was tapped in with, bro. Especially he was in Tennessee. Shit was crazy. It was closer to home, Nashville. But prayers up to CJ2K, man. Let's get into Jussie Smollett, man. Nigga out with dancing and shit. Fool. Nigga with dancing, performing at a Pride event in New York. And a lot of people just trolling him, saying they need to get this shit or they could have did better than this, bro. Let's look at this video. Dance his ass off. Oh, dance their ass off. Yeah, he said he's not hurt no more, man. That was an interesting conversation. A lot of people just trolling him for this performance, bro. I don't know, man. I had to probably see the performance in person with the vocals, man. You never know. That shit probably actually was good, through the phone and hella noise and shit. But shout out to him, man. He said he's not hurt no more. Shout out to Jussie Smollett. That situation a while back. I was in like middle school when that shit happened, man. He's still one of the legends, man. Still a legend in the acting game, no matter what, man. That what that was, not Power, Empire, man. Empire with with Lucius Lyon, man. Terrence Howard, Taraji P. Henson. Still fire, man. Shout out to them, man. Shout out to him. Hope he can get better, healing, all those good things, man. I would never just, want that for somebody. But let's get into the last topic, man. India Love was blocking traffic, man, causing problems. A lot of people took offense to this, saying that content creators just doing too much. They think that they too titled, but this is the form of payment for niggas now. So it's like, nigga is kind of feel like, nigga, I gotta get this bag. I gotta record this shit. Let's get into India Love, though, this video on Twitch.
You have to wait. You have to wait. You have to. Okay, and this is a public situation going on. You have to wait a second, sir. We're not doing anything wrong. Please give us 1 second. Please give us 1 second. We're not bothering anybody. Please. You could go around. You could go around. Yeah. Thank you. Play, go play. Go play, go play. Go play, go play, go play. Go play, go play.
Go play.
It's so cute. It's so cute. All right, let me get my bag out the back. Oh, I don't know. It's okay. Let's not.
Now, this shit crazy, fool. What y'all think about that? Just blocking the street, entitlement, or is it just content? it's content in the day, but like I don't know, man. I think a lot of this shit, you know, they talking about people going in people jobs, people the Shay Frost situation. He was in a job talking to the person at Target, like that girl, like those situations, and just the people that make trolling videos. You know, you go up, make people mad, and store at the medical glasses, those type of things. Yeah, so we're gonna see like a lot of people, man. This is the age we in though, so I feel like you can't even get mad, man. People are getting real bags, my nigga, from this shit. So it's like, damn, how mad can you get, bro? But I ain't gonna lie, man. This is another episode of Soulful Prosperity, man. We're gonna be back Sunday. Hope y'all been taking care of yourself, loving yourself. Hit that subscribe button, man. Road to 300. Let's get on 1,000 this year, bro. We're finna push this shit out so we can get there. So I love y'all guys. Hit that subscribe button. Keep tuning in. I appreciate y'all for the support.